I was getting tired of having a portable pressing station that was too small when I was doing live videos or trying to show quick ironing in my video tutorials. So I decided today is the day to improve that situation, and I wanted to share with you what I am going to do. So I have my staple gun and staples. I'm going to use 2 pieces of Insul-Brite, and then I'm going to put a piece of white fabric on top, but I want to keep that as wrinkle-free as possible so it's on my ironing board until we need it. We had our bathroom remodeled, and this was an extra shelf for under the sink that I was never going to use, but I knew I didn't want to throw away, and I guess this is why, because it is going to be perfect for this space. So this is a 1/2 inch thick. You can also use like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch plywood, whatever material that you want and whatever size that you want. The main thing is you need to make sure you're protecting the wood or whatever from the heat, and in particular what's under this from any heat when you are ironing. And that is where Insul-Brite comes in. This is a batting that has metallic on it that will reflect heat. I'm going to use 2 pieces of this, and because we don't want the heat going down to our workstation, like I don't want it going here or here, we want the heat bouncing back as we iron to help kind of give heat to the top and bottom of whatever you're ironing. We're going to have both layers facing up. First thing we need to do is get it all turned over. So I'm going to put that face down because we're going to staple this to the back. And then I'm just going to center this, and then I'm just going to pull and staple this all the way around. I'm probably an overzealous stapler, but I just want to make sure this stays nice and secure. Now, all this fabric in the corners, that's my quandary. Do I cut some of it off and fold it up, or do I just leave it with this big old lump? But that can just kind of act as another way to add space between this and whatever I have it on top of. So I think I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to fold that in a teeny bit, push that up, and let's hope that that staple will go through all of that. And when you're using the staple gun, it is best if you have it flat on the space and not hanging off this way. You're going to get better leverage and going to go through better. Well, that's too fat. All right, so I stapled the 2 layers there, and then I'm going to just staple it right next to it because this staple was not long enough to go through all of that, but we're going to get that more secure when we add the fabric. Now on these folded edges, I'm going to start by just securing this in the center so that I know I have it folded as much as I want it before I start playing with this corner section. Okay, that looks nice and secure. Now I'm going to go get my fabric. So I'm going to use a white fabric. This is actually a white on white. It's got little honeybees on it because that'll be cute, and it'll be really easy for you to see what I'm doing when I am ironing darker fabrics. So I cut that a little bit bigger than the silver so that it's going to fold further over, and that will also help us secure these corners down. So I'm just centering my board on the wrong side of my fabric and then back to stapling. And when I get to these corners, I'm going to push this down, stick my fingers under the fabric and push that folded part down to make sure it's as flat as possible under there. And then I'm just going to, like I'm wrapping a present, fold on my fabric. All right, that's nice and sturdy, and it's got a little bit of airspace, maybe a 1/4 inch under here because we kept all that Insul-Brite on the corners. So I'm not going to put any legs or anything on it. The only other thing I am going to do is this. I have cut a piece of darker fabric and I cut the edges with a wavy rotary cutter so that it's not going to fray. So when I am ironing or working with things that are white that wouldn't show as well on here, I'm just going to put this fabric right on top. I'm also going to call this my starching fabric. And I have this on my main ironing board as well. When I'm using starch, I use a lot, and it does eventually build up on the fabric underneath, whatever fabric you're starching as well. And I don't want this to get all gooey and weird and stained because, as you just saw, we stapled it to death to this board. So whenever I'm starching, I put a different fabric down, starch away, and when it looks like it could practically walk away or it is completely like paper, I just take this and I throw it in with my laundry, come back, and it is ready to go again. So this is my new plan. It's going to work so well. I'm so excited. You'll be seeing it in my video tutorials and also when I do live events on YouTube. If you want to make one, that is how easy it is. You need a staple gun, a board to whatever size you want, some Insul-Brite, and 1 or 2 fabrics. Hope that helps. And if you make any and post them on social media, please tag me so I can see what you decided to do, what size, what fabrics, etc.